a quorum. We're short one member of the board, Brett Porter. But we will call to order. Let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Also like to take a moment of silence for the Uvalde victims. And one more moment of silence for Brett Porter, our board member who is in the hospital today. All right. So summarization and ratifying action between meetings. Not sure that we had anything other than the buoys for the canal. And we're still trying to locate some that are going to be reasonably priced. The problem with the ones that we found is shipping. It costs more to ship them than it does to buy them. So we're still looking for that.
It's a supply chain issue.
Yep. Review minutes. Has everybody had a chance to review? Someone want to make a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes are taken care of. Review of financial report. Cindy, our treasurer.
Okay, so currently, we have checking account balance as of April 30th is $263,127.53. Savings account balance, again, as of April 30th, $34,460.49. And the escrow account balance, $18,696.71.
Any board member questions about financials? For those that are new to the meeting, our escrow account is actually the escrow money that from when people buy in, and the escrow requires them to put up HOA fees. The savings account is monies that are donated over and above the fees for beautification. And the checking account is where we run all the checks through, but it's basically the operating account. All right, no questions or issues as far as financials. We'll go on to the administrator's report.
I just wanted to let everybody know the donations and the dues are coming in. I think I'm down to like almost $3,000 of dues that are still owed to HOA annual dues. So we're getting there. Want to thank people at this time. Beautification donations for this year have been $15,352.50. The general fund donations have been $13,455. So everybody's been real generous and we really appreciate it. And that's all I have.
With the amount of dues that for most of the sections, I mean, it's between $10 a year and 45. What's the highest?
45.
$45 a year. So we get a lot of people who add, round up to 100 or whatever. I mean, it's fairly inexpensive. So if they don't designate it as beautification, then it goes into the general fund. So we'll start with the committee reports, architectural. Dennis?
Okay, we have, you have the reports in front of you now. For the year, April and May, we have, in those 2 months, we have, 3 lifts, 3 new additions, 6 fences, a pool, 2 repairs, and a driveway. All have been approved, as you can see. We actually only have 1 item pending for a lift. It was submitted, but it was in the front backside line. So I had to turn it down. I worked with the owner and the lift company, and they haven't got back to me on where they're gonna put it. They've got some options. They're not blocked out. They just haven't got back to me with the new drawings. So that's the only one that's up in the air right now.
Okay. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what JBIC does as far as deed restrictions, architectural permitting, basically make sure that people are building within the build lines. So there's a front setback, there's 2 side setbacks, and a back setback. So we basically make sure that the overhangs are, shorten the house by X feet. If you're doing a lift, that it's within the build lines. And so, we have nothing to do with quality of the materials or anything. Those are all permitted by the city. And so we just gotta make sure that you're within the lines. So a lot of people like to color outside the lines, and we try to keep them inside the lines.
Well, a lot of the buildings, houses are existing, and they wanna put something in, a pool or something like that. Next thing I know, they're in the backside line. So your neighbors can climb on the fence and jump into the pool. It's the reason why you have the restrictions, that you can't put those kind of things in the backside line. And just about every section, and you gotta look it up, it's different. It goes from 4 foot to sometimes 15 foot, and on Bob Smith, it's even further. But generally, it's 8 and 10 foot on the side, and 25 and 20 on the front. Front usually is not a problem, other than boats parked in the driveway. And those type of things. So, it seems like a lot of people right now are putting up lifts. So I guess our addiction is getting older. They're not putting it up to carry up groceries, I'll tell you that. It's a ride-up, and a lot of people are putting in fences, which is good. Keep the dogs from running around. New houses, there's been a lot of new houses, 4 or 5 coming up. They're generally from the speculators that are gonna rent them out. So somewhere in there, we're gonna have some problems with renters. Times to come. Other than that, everything seems to be going well in the area. Don't have any problems.
All right, we'll move on to deed restrictions. For those, again, that are new to the meetings, deed restrictions were basically the conscience of the area neighborhood. Reminding people that they need to mow, if they have a dead tree in front, house needs to be painted, those types of things. Again, it's more of a reminder than anything else. We've got a few people that, we've got a lot where they're storing building equipment, and keep reminding them that they need to remove them. You know, if they're under construction, that's fine, but if you're, you know, got a good deal and you're not building for a year, you know, it's not a storage place. We do about quarterly and review. Each member of the board has their own area that they're responsible for driving through and checking and reviewing what's going on in the neighborhoods. Beautification committee, I guess I'm in charge of that, so you know, we've got several programs that we're working on or looking into. We've got one is the welcome signs on the either end of 3005. You know, we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen with the one on the west end, which was damaged due to 3005 constructions. They've dropped in sewer or some sort of culvert and damaged the sign. We don't want to paint a damaged sign. We want to add some color to it, and they're not as pretty as the one in front of City Hall, but we'd like to do something along that lines of adding color and a thank you. You know, we maintain, you know, the lights, and we also maintain the mowing around them. So also within the beautification is what we call the five corners, which is Buccaneer and 3005. There's 5 beds, 4 corner, and then the island in front of the realtor's office. Again, we've kind of the center part because of the road constructions, and they finally got the metal plates. So we will be looking into adding back the beautification for that. The esplanade, you know, we've got issues with the trees. You know, we've made a proposal to the city to help with the cost of removal and replanting. And, you know, we're still waiting to find out. We've been told there's FEMA money available. So, you know, we've got that coming up. I think that's about all we've got for beautification. We have any old business need to bring up?
No, you brought up about the buoys, so
Yeah.
that's still an ongoing situation there.
We have any new business that needs to be brought up? No. All right, so now we will open the meeting.
Under old business too, we did write a check to the Jamaica Beach Fire Department for $500 donation for them to get new jackets. That was made also last month.
And we also received a thank you note from the fire department for the donation. So that's available. All right, we'll open up to members' questions and answer as best we can. Anybody want to start? Jerry,
Just sit here and,
you can sit here. We're not.
okay. Was that sufficient amount of money on the donation? The $500, did that satisfy what they needed to buy the jackets?
I believe it did.
Russell, you were kind of the one.
Not only did they meet their goal, they exceeded it. And they
Okay.
wanted me to tell you guys personally, thank you very much. This coming fall, this coming season, they'll all have new matching professional jackets.
Well, maybe they can use the exceeded money to put toward a banner.
It's not one thing, it's another.
Yeah.
Man, that flew the coop.
Yeah.
Henry's looking a tad sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautification.
Yes.
I know you and the city, you being HOA,
Right.
are in a conflict, and I will say conflict, on taking the trees down in the esplanade. I've sent, I've just mentioned on Facebook, that I would think that it would be the city's obligation to use the hot tax out of the beautification, which they can do. But since the two of you, the city and our HOA, are in a conflict, I think that Russell, Clay, and everyone should just say, let's do it. You pay half of it, the city pays half of it, and get it done. I can't see us waiting on FEMA to respond and all that stuff. I think it's something now, we have more guests coming in here in the summer. And every time they drive through or whatever, we have a hell of a lot of renters, which some way we've gotta stop that, but I'm not gonna go into that. I want the esplanade trees cut down. I don't really see why there's such a problem. You give half, the city gives half.
Jerry,
Yes,
may I intervene? This word conflict, you said several times. Where did conflict, I believe there's discussion, ongoing discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, ongoing discussion.
Yeah.
How long has this discussion been going on?
Over a year.
A year. That's a conflict.
Well,
I don't know if that's the.
let me interrupt and just, again,
Okay,
we have made we offered to pay for half of what needs to be done in the esplanade. The esplanade is a domino, mess, because when you push down to one, you've got several other dominoes that fall as well. Okay, trees have to be removed. Okay, trees have to be planted. The lights that are on the esplanade that uplight the palms during the summers and for Christmas, the Christmas lights, those will have to be removed and reinstalled because of, you can't put a tree back where the old one was unless you dig up the stump and remove all of it. And if you try to do that, more than likely you're gonna disturb the wiring for the lights as they exist now. So, we've had discussion with the city, with Sean Hutchinson, when the three initial trees died in the esplanade. And, we have always said that we would be more than willing to pay for half of what's needs to be done. So,
no, I realize the domino effect, you might take a tree, the lights and everything, and taking down the trees is just the biggest portion of it, but the others has to be done also, which isn't the realization of cutting a tree down. However, you've said you've had a lot of discussions. Has either department issued anything in writing to the city? Have you made an offer? Has the city made an offer to you on, let's do this, 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 and this, we'll pay for half of it, and here's about how much it's gonna cost. We'll pay half of it. Have we made an offer like that in writing to
No.
the city? Okay, that'd be a heavy suggestion from me, that we put something in writing. This discussions and talking, I don't think it's ever been talked at a meeting. I don't think it's been, I could be wrong. I've been wrong once, I can't remember when, but, has it been brought up on the floor at the city council meeting that you would pay half of it? Has the city council stood here and say, hey, we'll pay half of it? I don't think that's happened. I think everything should be put in writing. This is a big effect on Jamaica Beach, the city of Jamaica Beach. Those trees have been there for a year and they're a very big eyesore. And, I don't wanna bring the dead horse up, okay?
Right, well, I understand.
But
And
that's my heavy suggestion.
Yes,
Well, let's take the dead ones down as a first step,
right,
you know.
It could be in a
because-
step process, I agree, but get them down, whatever it takes. If I'd known all this was going on when my son was here, I would've gone in there and cut them down one night.
yeah, well, there's a liability issues there,
I would've cut them down and
and.
no
you know,
one would know it, but they'd be laying there.
Yeah,
Like they are now.
Okay. That's,
Jerry, have you brought that up to city council?
no, I have not. I have not, which I think with the city council here now,
Right.
he's hearing it. And so this discussion back and forth between Russell or Clay or whatever, discussions should be over with. It should be in writing, a request with recommendation. Now, I have something else.
okay,
Deed restrictions
yes,
on Jamaica Cove. I don't really know the house number or lot number, but there's not a permit and there's at least 25 poles, what, pilings
oh, okay,
setting there. And I don't know whose responsibility of the HOA people to go by there and see, but to me, I don't think they have a permit, I don't think they have anything. I could be wrong, but I've talked to a couple of people, and there's not a permit for them to do anything, and that is a heavy deed restriction violation. And the pilings on Curlew and Flamingo Way, I know there's been discussion on that, and I've talked to you, I've talked to Deborah, I've talked to Dennis. I haven't talked to Clay. I don't know if that's his responsibility or not. I haven't talked to Russell. But they've been there, and this guy I talked to him on the phone when they first got there. He's a relative of Lynn and Stephanie. And so I got their phone number from them, and I called him, and he said he's waiting on, he got a deal, and he's waiting on the architect to do this and that, and they get it. So I think he's told that story to you, the same story, but it's been 3 months. I mean,
yeah,
and they're still there. I think we should make a suggestion. Let's remove them, send him a bill for removing them. I know we can't do that.
yeah.
Well, they're
There
too short
is-
to begin with.
They're on private property and they're, we cannot, we have certain things that we can do. I mean, if somebody's
I
not
know,
mowing
you
their
can't really
yard,
remove them.
we can
But-
mow it and, but then it would be theft if we remove them. And I know, I talked to the gentleman this week and he assured me as he's assured everybody that
Right.
he's going to do something. He got a good deal, turns out they're too short, and he says
I talked
that
to
he's
you over
gonna
a week
have,
ago.
he's gonna have them, removed and pay the restocking fee. And then I suggested that he not buy any more until he's ready to build.
Okay, but, I talked to you, it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're out of town a lot, so.
But,
That's what you told me 2 weeks ago, and you talked to him, and, I think he's had enough time.
yeah, I agree.
And I think you know, I don't know what, there's no penalties we can do, we can't go burn his house down, we can't go
There's
dig
no house
up
to
his
burn.
house, we can't cut his water off. I know we
There's
don't
no
have
water.
any, I know we don't have anything,
We have no clause.
we have no, yeah, right,
We can't,
can't do anything about it. And, but I think he should be given a time. And I don't think you gave him a time, and I don't think, well, I know Deborah hasn't given time, she's not really authorized to do that, but he just keeps telling the same story and stretching it out, that the builder is going to remove them. Well, the builder's building a new house, he's not worried about those pilings over there. And, I don't know, I think it's just
It's frustrating.
Well, it's frustrating.
For us as well as for the homeowners.
It's
Because we're
frustrating
homeowners in the city
that-
as well.
we continue to receive the information from him that is not in a truthful presentation. He's gonna have it done, but I'm going to build a new house where I live. I'm gonna tear it down and build a brand new one sometime.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
you know I'm gonna do that.
you're just
Dennis,
saying,
get ready.
I agree, his timeline stinks, you know.
Very good, thank you, John. Okay.
All right.
A house over on, I forgot the name of the street. When you guys always make you forget things. Okay. It doesn't even have stairway going up to the house.
Yes.
That's the
Who-
one,
You're talking about
who's-
Jamaica Beach Road?
the one on Jamaica Beach Road.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. It's just, and you can see it, everybody can see it going to the beach.
And we cannot find it on, that's my district, and we have looked, and there is nothing. Russell, do you know anything about properties when Ike hit? It's the very, on Jamaica Beach Road, you go up Buccaneer, if you make a left, go all the way to the end, and there's 3 houses kind of by themselves. And
Oh,
the
I know.
one, there's holes in the roof, the
Yeah,
steps are
yeah.
falling off, they have no house number or anything on them.
Don't
We
have
can't
an
find
owner's
them.
name.
We don't have an owner's name, and even the city, correct? You talked to someone in the city, and they had no information on that house.
How about the appraisal district?
That's what I was gonna say. What does
I don't
CAD say?
know. I don't know.
I'm familiar with the house, but I'm not familiar with any legwork that was put into that individual property. However, I am familiar with some other houses back on this side of that neighborhood that were in the same condition. And in Texas, it's homeowner strong. It is very, very, very difficult to enforce demolishing, removing, condemning an owner's house. I haven't dealt with it in years. I'd be happy to look into that one. I know it's a difficult process. It's not impossible. I know we did it once, but I know it's very difficult.
Yeah,
All right.
we can't even
It's
find
just-
anybody to send letters to, cause they don't pay, they're not they don't pay HOA dues, and the city didn't have anyone listed in that particular house. Cause Deborah's been checking, but we didn't check the,
I've
Are
sent
they a
letters.
part of Jamaica Beach or are they a part of Galveston? If we have no records here, then who are they a part of?
yeah,
Well, they've got to
Is
search
it
CAD.
Galveston? Have y'all checked with Galveston?
Does anybody have the address by hand?
no, cause there's no
How
house
far they
numbers.
come down there?
Not on any of those 3 houses.
You just can't have property and not having taxes from somebody, the city, the county,
Well,
the
that's what I
state,
was saying.
whatever. So somewhere there is information on this,
Okay, but
and it needs to
Dennis,
be looked at.
Dennis will
someone
put you in
told
charge.
me, and I don't remember who, but when Ike happened, there was properties beachside that were damaged, and it was just, they were bought out, and that's what I'm wondering
So who
about
bought
those
them out?
properties.
That's not
Who showed you
beachfront.
But
that?
that's
Who
not
bought 'em
beachfront.
out?
Mhm.
City
Well,
should
I
have
think
that
Russell has the
information
best
who bought
idea.
them out.
Looking on the CAD, the tax roll and everything, you might not have the number on the house, but we can,
Yeah.
if there's a number anywhere on the house, you can add numbers, like if it's 1214 here, 1216, 1218, and look all those numbers up. Now,
See what it would
that
be.
house to me is a liability for Jamaica Beach. If some kids, visitors are on our beach and these kids running around, 12, 14, 15 years old, they're gonna be leaving their parents and their parents not gonna be looking at anything. They may go up in that area, want to go to the bathroom, and see that house is vacant, and then they start trying to climb in to see if there's anything in there. They fall out, they get hurt, who's responsible?
Well, as Russell said,
It's a good idea.
that the state says the owner of the property is protected by the state.
So
Now, in other state, the state I came from, for instance, our fire chief is allowed to go and inspect the building. And if he, says, I'm condemning
Vacant
this,
building.
a vacant
Yeah.
building, or,
Yeah.
you don't never know, people living in a building that is unlivable. But he could condemn the building for the purpose, if that catches on fire, firemen do not go in that building and put their lives at risk. That's the last thing he wants, to lose lives, to put out a piece of trash. But this state protects those properties.
Okay, so the kids go in there and just set a fire. Anyway, I think what Russell said was an excellent idea. But
Seems like you could figure out the house number by the other.
Well, yeah, you can.
I mean, I tried looking
That's like I said,
everywhere,
12,
and the
it's
numbers
14,
like
18.
jumping crazy, but,
Well, they've been.
But we've got one over by Flamingo,
They've been
but,
bought
it's
out
in
by
your-
the
people
state.
live in
You
them.
have to go to
Yeah.
the state.
Oh,
So-
yeah, by Dennis.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, that same house, right across from
You gotta go
Dennis,
to the
right?
state and put in a request or a requirement of some complaint.
How do we put a complaint?
So if the state owns it, and if that's the property you're all talking about, those houses, then the state will have the information. And that has to go to.
Does anybody in the
to
other
the state.
houses
Now,
next
who's gonna
to
make
it?
the request, the city or us?
Does
I would
anybody,
assume it's the city.
does anybody in the other houses, you said there's 3, know anything about
It's your
it?
area, have you?
yeah, I've never seen any vehicles or anything. Anytime I've driven through, there's never been any vehicles
And
in
you
those,
find-
and it's not even like the road ends, and it's
Yeah.
like a little separate gravelly, sandy thing there,
Yeah.
you have to kind of back out of it when you pull in.
Yeah, if you look at the drawings, the road goes all the way to
The one to the road, to the beach?
the road, beach road.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But, anyway.
I just thought maybe some of the
I can't talk
neighbors
anymore.
might know something.
yeah.
and again, though, as a homeowners association, we have no rights to go trespass on private property in those situations.
I don't think we asked,
So-
I don't think that was trespassing.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
stating the fact that, we're, when we go do our drive-bys, we pretty much stay on the street and do from an observational situation. I don't know if our enforcement, officer, Mr. Posey or Officer Posey, situation or what. But,
Maybe the fire department should look into it, I don't know.
So,
Anyway,
A wellness check?
all right. Yeah.
Russell was next.
Yes.
No,
yes.
she actually raised
Oh,
her
okay.
hand way before.
Oh, sorry, Russell can go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
Yeah, Jessica Sullivan, nice to meet everybody I haven't met
Oh,
yet.
yeah.
I see a few familiar faces up there. Hi there.
Hi.
And this is my husband Z.
Hello.
We have been trying to get into the Facebook groups for Jamaica Beach, but I don't have a Facebook and he does.
Yes.
But he keeps getting turned down, so I'm just wondering what steps do we need to take to get into like watchdogs or
Reporter or.
yeah, the groups
Talk.
that are, so that we can kind of stay in the loop. I just, he's got the account, I don't,
Well,
so.
It's a
You need to
property
go
owner's
to
name,
the administrator.
Okay.
And the administrator on most of those are identified usually in the very beginning when you pull them up.
At the top, okay.
And then just,
We can
tell them
contact
that
them
you're
directly.
new homeowners and that you want to
Yeah.
be
Okay.
added. That's, we have an administrator for
Right here.
reporter.
right there.
And
Perfect.
so,
I'll write our
Yeah.
names down for you. Oh, yes, I'll get you his name. Thank you so much. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll open the floor to Russell.
All right, regarding the trees at the esplanade, Jerry, you got some great points, and I am in complete agreement with you, it needs to be done. However, it's not as simple as writing a check as far as the city's concerned. The city did not budget any funds for beautification or trees, we had no idea this was coming. So that being said, we met with JBIC, I haven't seen a proposal or a bid yet, and we scrounged and we were able to allocate $8,000. That's it for this fiscal year. I'm not gonna take money from our sewer plant fund to plant trees. It just does not make sense. I want it done as much as you, but that $8,000, that's all we have this fiscal operating year. Waiting on FEMA, I don't agree with that. Don't hold your breath. I don't know if they've gone out for a bid. I actually have a contractor. I know that I can get a proposal together for removing, replanting, get some numbers that we can work with. Donald's right, we have to do not only lighting, but I think you have a sprinkler system over there too.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a snowball effect. But let's get a proposal together, a bid, and let's talk monies. But the city can't write a check for $60K for the esplanade. We are operating on an extremely tight budget, and right now, my priority is infrastructure. Given the choice, do I want a tree or my toilet to flush? I'm gonna choose the toilet. As you guys can see in the neighborhood, we're making leaps and bounds, and I wanna continue that direction. Beautification, we're trying.
Okay, now, make a suggestion. What if we just get a bid to cut them down at least? You know, and
Do
start
it in,
from
do it in
there.
sections.
Do it in
You know,
stages.
let's get them cut down, and then let's look toward doing the electrical or the sprinkler system,
Yeah,
just do it in sections.
Right, okay, that being said, have you guys been in touch with a contractor? Can you get a bid together? I
To cut 'em
got
We
down.
one.
we don't need bids and for us to do the work that we do, so no, we don't. I had gone to the city, I've talked to, like I said, 2 city managers and a director of operations, and made the offer that JBIC is here to help, and we are willing to pay for half of whatever reasonable cost it is to replace and do what needs to be done.
Can we
we
start with
paid-
just cutting them down?
Cutting them down.
Give us,
Put it in.
give us a bid and we'll pay for half of it.
Okay, well, why don't, do both, do you need to get a bid, or do you need to get a bid?
They're
Yes,
saying-
you want me to get a bid?
The assumption that we
Hell, I'll
take,
get a bid.
the assumption we
Okay.
take is that it's city property,
Yeah,
and we cannot go in and do anything
Without their approval.
without their approval.
okay.
I'd like to make a motion, I nominate Mr. Russell to give a bid.
I'd be happy to do so. You guys have
Great guy.
a much better operating budget than we do. You guys have over $300,000 in assets.
No,
No,
No?
we are holding monies for,
we enlightened ourselves lately.
so.
Holding
But,
lots for
but
what?
yeah, we have a large budget, and that's why I said we're more than happy. I mean, at one time, I looked into replacing the trees, so put a comparable tree in would be anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 per tree. And, so, you know, there's 6 or 9, there are 9 trees there. We paid, I think, $15,000 to put in lighting on the esplanade several years ago. You know, those would all have to be basically starting over.
Yeah, but
Let's
let's
go- let's go back.
Oh, I agree,
Let's go back.
but
One
no,
step
this
at a
is
time.
not, I mean, a motion,
Yeah.
we're not
Yeah.
taking motions here. I
Right.
mean, you know, those are discussions,
Just
you
cut
know,
down and haul off.
you know,
Cut down the hall.
Start with that.
so,
Just not
Can
it.
hot tax pay for any of that beautification, I would think?
It helps first, and
I don't, when you brought it up earlier, I don't think so. Hot tax pays for heads in beds. So you can do parks, but can you do trees at an esplanade?
Well,
I don't have the answer for
To
that.
help get heads in beds, I wouldn't wanna go into a place that got all this dead trees hanging around. I'd think, well, they don't really keep anything, I'm not gonna go down to Sea Isle.
But even with the hot tax, with the numbers we're talking about, we're gonna have to find, if we split it, we're gonna have to find $40,000 for this project.
Well, that's why I'm suggesting just do it in phases, take it down.
I mean, we're almost at the year end, the city, if hot tax doesn't help pay for it, the
Budget
city
for
can
next year.
budget it in, you know, the lights and everything, and you can put in your budget lights, but let's just cut the trees down and go on with the other projects that it takes. So, he's gonna get a bid and,
Who did the, who was responsible for the ditch at the end of the beach road? We got the new ditch in. Was that the
No.
city? Or
City.
That was city? That's awesome. I just
Yeah.
wanna say that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
we'll write a letter to Clay and say thank you.
I'm sure will.
Absolutely.
I love the entrance.
Hey, every now and then I see you down at West End,
And this man right here.
I'll just stop y'all at West End and grill the next time I see you.
You did a great job.
That was great.
I was shocked when I drove down at first, gosh.
Hey Russell, under open discussion, she mentioned ditch, and I've seen this happen at least twice. The ditch where the button is to cross 3005, right hand side,
Yes,
there's a chunk of concrete there.
Mm.
And I saw a lady, and this is, you know, midway to the red light, saw a lady reach for it, and she lost balance and she fell. What's going on with that ditch?
that is part of the county's road project. And as soon as you bring up county, you know how difficult it is to work with. They're supposed to be coming back. That's a drainage issue problem. The streets are done, now they're trying to do the drainage and the culverts. We've been working with them diligently, but it's like pulling teeth. The mayor also has a new idea, an excellent idea he's trying to compose for a better sidewalk egress in that area and across 3005 on Buccaneer. So it's safer for pedestrian traffic to walk. So it is on the table, it is being discussed, but when you're working with county and the road crew and the sewer crew and the engineer, it's just not easy.
I mean, I was just looking at life safety. I'm just, in my mind, little kid runs up to go press the button, falls in, you know how it's full of water.
I encourage everybody to email the county engineer, the county commissioner, the road crew. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, is that the saying?
Yeah.
So please, all the help we can get, just bombard them with phone calls and emails. Get them motivated.
What branch of the, can you give me some kind of address, text me something that I can,
Yeah, I'll put something
I'll
together.
get several people
I'd be happy to do so.
yeah. I mean, I think y'all know me,
Oh,
I
do.
mean, Lord, I would not want to see somebody really seriously get hurt there.
This is why you don't want me to city council meetings.
No,
With Jerry.
No, I'm just teasing
I might
you.
bring something up, but I don't think I'm,
No, I'm just teasing.
negative on anything.
Any other
Something else.
discussions?
No, I have
Oh.
something else.
I had a question if y'all had ever done like, home of the month or of the season and did some acknowledgement of that, you know, like, acknowledge a nice looking home and maybe that would motivate others to, I don't know if that.
Yeah,
but-
we had an organization called the,
They're
Jamaica
still
James.
in, the Jamaica
But they
James,
don't do that anymore.
yeah,
But they-
Ginger's still in Jamaica
Right.
James.
Okay.
They're also wanting to
So-
take the bulletin boards down if y'all are interested in taking them over.
Okay. Oh,
so,
I think the bulletin.
well, we
board-
had bulletin boards over by the
Mailbox.
large
Yeah.
set, there's two sets of mailboxes in the Jamaica James
yes.
used to do that, and then now there's two groups, and I don't think either one of them are doing that.
The-
And,
My understanding, I go to both and she does too. They,
are you a
They
Jane?
but she is, but I
He
speak for her.
hears from me.
But I think it would be a great communication system for, like, if Deborah has something like, no, I don't think everybody knows that you're meeting here today.
Not
And if
everybody
they
has
drive
email.
by, they go get their mail and you have, okay,
JBIC.
JBIC meeting, 9 o'clock Saturday, the
James used to post
27th.
that.
They used to post it city too, that.
Yeah.
Well,
Push it
I
on
don't
the
have that
city.
anymore.
On
No,
the sign out in the front, you
it
should
used
do
to be
that.
there, but it's not
But,
anymore.
The
I
way
think
it
it'd be a
does.
great communication system for JBIC.
Well, let's go back to new business real quick. We have a new website that will be hopefully up and running in the next week or so. And hopefully it'll be easier to use, and it will also have a direct link to the city of Jamaica Beach. And so that will, we're also looking into being able to pay the fees with a credit card online. So now it's either cash or check and has to be mailed in. You know, if we do the credit card, of course, you know, there will be a convenience fee, which I paid when I paid my taxes, property taxes.
And when we pay our water bill,
And so,
Oh, it's a fee, they pay the water bill.
oh, is, okay.
we pay it
So,
online.
hopefully that will, you know, and we will make the announcements on the various, Jamaica Beach sites if you can get on it. And, for those that are on them, so
The new
hopefully you
ones,
can get on it. And,
The new site is very nice,
You have to have internet though, right?
yeah.
yeah, you have to have internet to,
Still see
Yeah,
the
like
whole
some
city
people
around.
are out. I don't even have a computer.
yeah. I mean, we mail out a newsletter.
Yeah, with the dates of the meetings and
And
everything.
with states when the meetings were and, you know, again, if we can only mail them out to those who have put a mailing address, and we can only send out email, flyers to those who have current emails on our site. So hopefully with the new site, it'll be easier to get in, easier to maneuver through, and there will be a place right there that says, you know, if you can't get on, click a button and somebody will get back with you to help you with it, so.
Wow.
But we will look into, you know, doing the, property of the, I don't know if we wanna do a month, but, you know, we can do at least, you know, maybe a holiday
Yeah.
house and then, you know, a summer home, and, you know, maybe we will take over
Your little map.
the issue again is, there's only 6 of us in HOA, and 5 of us do it out of, volunteer, just like city council and everything else, but, so,
Maybe.
you know, there's only so many days, so many hours,
Well,
and it interferes with my cruising, so.
That we have to stop. We need you here more. Because to get anything done, Deborah, she said that she's gotta, actually she goes through, whoever your assistant is.
Joey's always
But
here.
I know, he's always
I
here.
always can get.
But he doesn't make as much money as you do as the president.
no,
You
he
make
makes-
more money
he
than
makes-
he does.
He makes twice what I get.
Oh, okay.
So I get 0, he gets twice.
Dennis makes his money on payoffs. But,
And then they double dip, because there's 2 of them,
But-
so.
but let me say
Let's get
this.
back to,
There's, Ginger has been asked several times to help interview people for different jobs, from the city and from you guys. There's nothing wrong with Joe coming to me and say, hey Jerry, I've got something here, but can you go look at it and handle it and get back with me? There's nothing wrong with you
No.
guys getting other people to help. You're right, there are 5 of you, and the city council has 6 or whatever, but, Clay asked, we've all done things for each city council person, and y'all have asked people to help. There's nothing wrong
We
with
do.
that,
but, you know.
but
so-
you gotta be here to ask me.
I'm always available
Just,
by email.
just take Nancy to the boat and say, thank you.
All right,
I'm
well,
through.
we can adjourn to executive, or we can adjourn, oh,
I'm sorry, one more thing.
Yes.
What about future projects? What's going on? Do you guys have anything in mind?
well, like I said, we, right now, you know, we've got the signs that we were gonna have painted. But, you know, we're waiting to, for them to be fixed. I wanna fix a broken one. Again, you know, I don't take everything to, you know, I go to the city manager and to the director of operations with these things. I'm not here for the city council meetings, and so, you know, that's the way I've always understood the, city works, is through the, manager of operations. So, do you have you know, we're open to suggestions for,
Projects.
beautification projects.
Well, just a question on beautification. We love our new road signs that have gone up so you can see what every street is, but we
That's
noticed,
city.
okay, we
Yes.
noticed not every street is done yet. Is that ongoing?
Backward.
Backward, gotcha. Okay, just curious. Anyway, sorry.
There's a few missing, hopefully.
We sort of say beautification, but I think there should be a slash saying maintaining.
Yeah.
We do
Maintenance.
more maintaining than adding beautification.
Gotcha. Okay.
And who handles the waterway, like the buoys? Is that you or is that the city?
Well, in the past,
Or is that
historically, you know, we've been paying for the channel markers,
Mhm.
and, you know, we would pay for the signs, and then, the pilings were donated and put in. Last time we did that, you know, we had to pay for the pilings.
Yeah, it
And
cost
the
us
signs.
last year $6,500 to get pilings in the, what's that called?
Channel.
The
Yeah.
channel, and to get the navigation signs, the channel markers, and the solar light to light up the one. And last year, we didn't get didn't get the putting in of the stuff for free. It ended.
Can I ask a question, Russell? Would hot tax help with some of that expense for the buoys, since it's not just for the residents, but it's for the, visitors too? Or is that something you'd have to look into?
I don't know the answer, but whenever we increase our budget, we increase our tax rate.
Mhm.
All right, so everybody keeps saying hot tax like it's free money.
Well, I know it's not free
It's
money.
really not. It increases our budget. And with the way
Whoa,
our
whoa, whoa,
expenses,
whoa. Can you explain why the hot tax, cause that's a separate budget itself. What budget is it increasing?
the overall budget, our operations, our fiscal budget.
Okay,
But
so,
hot tax is a separate fund,
And it's allocated already.
it's all of it's
For this
allocated?
year. Yes.
It's $1 million in there, where do you have $1 million allocated to?
I'd be happy to go over the budget with you. It's very long.
hot
and
tax
it's
budget?
complicated. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
We are
That's a city
utilizing
council.
all of our funds we can, trust me.
mhm.
We're not, there's nothing in the kitty, you know? Yes, great, we have some reserves for storms and what have you.
Yeah.
But just these
Yeah,
past
that's
projects, we had to, go in and, take out a couple CDs just to finish the payments for the water line replacement program. Within the past year, we've spent,
A lot of money, I know.
I'd say
So
almost
it
$2 million
should have been
on
maintained and
infrastructure.
it wasn't. Yeah.
I wish there was an easy answer, there's not.
Mhm.
But again, back with JBIC, I mean, we're open to beautification projects and whatnot. I mean, we do have money, we are willing to spend it, and we are willing to assist in the city and projects that they have as far as beautification. So,
Would it be cheaper to go and pick up the buoys and bring them back?
They're not there.
Oh,
It's a supply chain issue.
Yeah.
As I
Okay.
spoke,
I
and
understand.
my
that.
next door neighbor, he's pretty much into navigation and working.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of that stuff comes from China, especially plastics.
Yeah,
And, he's even been checking, and it's just not
Okay.
there. Now,
I was
there's
thinking
ship
of it.
ones,
yeah.
but we're looking for the in-between ones, and it's just like not a priority, what they're
Mhm.
putting out.
Okay.
Russell?
There has been some sort of discussion on a project I'm really excited about. The lots east of the park and the pool. Let's call them the flood lots that are constantly underwater.
Swamp.
One of our previous council members looked into grants, bonds to purchase those and to get some more green space for the city. There's one home there that we'd have to discuss, maybe moving them down or something, but I wanted to put a bug out there to see who would be interested if you guys are citizens. But, if we could acquire a couple more lots, raise them, and turn them into more Jamaica Beach green areas for years to come, I think that would be an excellent addition to the city. A community garden, I think that would be outstanding. People are talking about pickleball courts. I'm so pro dog park.
I'm so pro dog park.
Yep, and then maybe like a wildflower bee, I don't know the term. But I wanted just to put that out there and start getting everybody's feeling for it and see if anybody wanted to white hat it and start investigating it. I think it would be a beautiful addition for us to do to our city for years to come. You know, something that we really achieved.
And the only issue I would see from JBIC would be ownership. I mean, we do own one piece of property in Jamaica Beach, and that's the only thing that the homeowners association owns, and that's the Bird Estuary. And we pay property tax on that, but the reason why we have it is that it's no maintenance. We're not allowed to do anything to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have more than enough, opportunity to, I won't say buy the property, but
Assist
once
in
the
beautifying.
property, yes, you
Once it's
know,
bought.
of, you know, again, assisting in the, pickleball courts or lights.
Flowers,
or,
whatever,
Yeah.
trees.
you know,
Yeah.
all of that, adding, you know, we paid with the joint venture with the city for the park,
Swings.
Palapas?
no,
Oh.
Yeah.
Palapas,
Palapas at the,
and the
Oh.
trees
City park.
and everything. I mean, you know, that was a joint venture with the city. We have no issues with that.
What's the boundaries on that estuary? Does it go all the way to, Pelican?
No.
Someone told me that someone bought 4
Yes.
lots right there.
Yes,
You're
that
absolutely
is
right.
true.
Hmm.
They've owned them forever.
Oh, they've owned those lots
Yeah.
forever.
Well, somebody has owned it. I mean, but yes, I know that there's some issues, with that along Pelican, that, those are, to me, they look like they're underwater.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure how they could build on it. Of course, nobody builds on the ground anyway, but I mean, still parking and whatnot.
Mhm.
But, yeah, when that comes, yeah, I've got a map and, you know, I think 100, something like 100 feet off of the Pelican is not ours, so,
100 feet toward the water.
Into the water, yeah.
into the water.
Into the water.
So if you're coming down Bob Smith, you start at Pelican and you go about 100 feet, and, that's not ours.
Mm.
And so, I mean, we don't mow the lots anyway, so, because it's, supposed to be left natural, a natural habitat.
I wonder if that'd be better for us to buy those and improve those and, I mean, I don't know what the price of those lots would be, but no, I like that great idea. And that poor guy's trying to raise, I don't know who's doing that, he's trying to raise his lot. If he keeps bringing dirt in there, he can't
It's gonna be
drive
right
in under his house.
Well, yeah, I mean, at some point he's
He's
gonna
gonna have to raise
be,
the house.
Yeah.
I'm not sure FEMA, what regulations there are as far as, distance, so.
How much he can raise it.
I like Russell's idea and recommendation,
I don't
unless Russell wants to.
Okay.
No.
All right,
I'm gonna go
well,
buy it right now,
I make the motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.
but. Hey.
Thank you.